Hello, everyone. We're back again. Me, Dr. Lynn, and Rachel. We're back with Evora's Eats. We missed last month because we were just so busy over the summer, but we're glad that you're back with us. I'm Dr. Lynn. I run Evora Women's Health. I'm a gynecologist, and at Evora, we are a concierge women's health practice where we really have a holistic approach to women's health. So we don't only treat problems, but we really focus on prevention of those problems. And so good nutrition is part of that. And that's why we have Rachel from A Perfect Fit. You want to say something?
Sure. So I am Rachel. I run a company called A Perfect Fit here in St. Louis, and we are a personal cooking company. We have chefs that go into our clients' homes and actually prepare healthy meals for them for the week. So a great service if you're trying to get a little healthier, try to feed your kids some healthier meals. We do it all.
Yeah, and I love it for like the working professional. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great for the working professional who just doesn't have time to, prep meals. And then when we're not prepping meals, we tend to make bad choices. Or for a busy mom who just doesn't like cooking. Not everybody likes to cook or chop vegetables and all that. So yeah.
And I think a crazy statistic that I saw this past year, I guess, over a year now with COVID, was that kids over COVID were eating about 70% processed foods.
Oh, yeah, and that's the worst. That's the worst. I love your hint about when you go shopping to stay on the perimeter of the supermarket. So because everything processed is, right there in the middle. So unprocessed foods are the way to go.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so we are going to make a quiche today, and speaking of meal prep, this is a really great meal prep recipe. We use it with a lot of our clients just because you can make an entire quiche and then split it up. It's already portioned for the week, and it stores really well over the course of your work week.
All right, let's get to it.
So we are going to go ahead and start with the sweet potato. I'm going to make sure I don't get cut off.
Yes.
So I went ahead and peeled our sweet potato already. You'll just need one. And then we're going to go ahead and take the ends off of our sweet potato and take the smaller portions off. You're going to go ahead and just cut it into slices.
And sweet potatoes have so many health benefits. I was reading up on sweet potatoes before today, and they have, high vitamin C, they have antioxidants, they have a substance that gets converted to vitamin A, they have potassium, and the best thing I read about sweet potatoes is they have a low glycemic index. So like if you're a diabetic or you're insulin resistant, then these are a perfect food and they sort of satisfy that sweet tooth. So if you're insulin resistant or diabetic, you want to avoid those like super sweet, high in sugar foods. But the sweet potato can satisfy that need, but low glycemic index.
I love that. And it's really filling too.
Super filling.
So we're going to go ahead and then take our pie dish, and you want to either wipe it with a little bit of oil all around, or just if you have spray olive oil, go ahead and spray it down. And then we're going to go ahead and just start layering our sweet potatoes. So once you have your slices, you're going to go ahead and take the slices and cut them in half for some of them. And then some of them you're going to leave in the full circle and just start layering the bottom. So we're going to try to cover as much surface area as we can with the sweet potatoes and then fill it in with the half circles. So we'll take our half circles once we have the bottom done, and you'll go around the perimeter of your pie dish. So a traditional quiche is usually made with a crust, and our crust today is a sweet potato.
I love that. I made one of these beforehand so we can have one that's ready because it takes time to cook. And every single thing that goes in here is healthy. I love it. And it's all foods that I love. Like I personally love eggs, so I'm a quiche fan. And I love sweet potatoes because I'm a sweet tooth.
And then we're just going to kind of cut it into quarters and just fill in any little spots that we have left. But it doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to cover it with the eggs. And then once you have your pie dish filled with sweet potatoes, so you can kind of see our crust. You're gonna spray it one more time. Just a light spray. And we are gonna go ahead and put that in the oven for 20 minutes to get the sweet potatoes soft.
It's too bad you all can't smell it, because when I made it this morning and took it out, it smelled so delicious. I haven't tasted it yet, so I can't wait to taste it.
All right, we can go ahead and put our sweet potatoes to the side.
So this morning I took those sweet potatoes and I put them on a baking sheet, and I really wasn't doing anything special, but I just stuck them in the oven and took them out, and they're like sweet potato chips.
Yeah,
and I
so
ate
if
them
you
all.
have any leftovers, that's a great idea. Just throw them in with the quiche.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can even double layer up if you wanted more on your quiche. So next we're gonna go ahead and cook the vegetables that are gonna go in the quiche. We'll start with our onion. And your recipe says one small white onion. Mine's a larger yellow onion, so I'm only going to use half of this onion. And we'll just dice it up.
Hopefully without crying.
Yeah. You gotta be fast. And actually, before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and head to our pan and heat up a tablespoon of avocado oil. You can also use olive oil. You could even use butter if you had butter on hand.
Let me try. Oh, okay. Let's use that one.
Perfect.
I love how Rachel uses olive oil. It's the healthier choice. It's a little healthier than olive oil. And why is that again? Because of the temperature that
it has a higher burn point. So since we're not using a high heat for too long in this recipe, but anytime you're using a higher heat, you want to use an avocado oil. So we'll go ahead and chop our onion. Were you tempted to take a slice of your quiche this morning?
I was thinking, like, if I took one like nice little pie wedge out and ate it, but then I was like, nope, I'm gonna keep hands off.
I know,
I'll just
it
wait.
looks so pretty. And I was thinking, when we picked out this recipe, I use this recipe a lot for my friends that recently had a baby, or someone that's going through just a busy time and you want to cook them a meal. I think a lot of people forget about breakfast ideas that could double as lunch, and it is really pretty. And so I just let them keep the pie dish as like a gift filled with a quiche.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. Although most of my friends aren't having babies anymore.
Yeah.
I'm past that stage in life.
Everyone loves a good home-cooked meal drop-off, no matter who you are. All right, so we have our onion chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and put that in our skillet.
And you can find this video on our YouTube channel on Evora Women's Health once we're done. So if you can't find it on Facebook, or you want to send a friend to it or something like that, you can always find it on our Evora Eats. Usually takes a couple days to get there, but it will eventually get there. And we've got lots of other ones up there too. Really yummy recipes that we've made. I can't remember how long we've been doing this now. Like, probably since, I don't know. I
don't know either, but
started
I
in the
have
winter.
looked back on the recipes that we've made and actually cooked them before.
Yeah. There's
on
some
my
good
own.
ones.
Yeah. And then making sure too you sign up for the Evora emails so that you can get the recipes emailed to you ahead of time and cook with us if you'd like.
Yes. Yeah, so that goes out on our newsletter every time we do an Evora's Eats. I send the recipe in advance in case you want to make it with us, which makes it a whole bunch more fun. And then you get to actually taste it at the end.
So next, I'm over here chopping up our tomato. And once I have a full tomato chopped up, I'm just going to throw it in with the onions. And we'll saute that for a couple minutes, and then we'll add our spinach in.
So the recipe said you could choose a tomato or a red pepper. And so I made mine with a little bit of tomato and a whole red pepper. And I used a white onion and probably a little more onion than you did. So I'm curious how they're going to taste different.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about a quiche is it's so versatile. You can throw in whatever you have left over in your fridge.
Yeah, and in the recipe it had all sorts of ideas, like you could saute some mushrooms, you could put in meat if you're a meat lover, so sausage, ham. I mean, I love food like that sort of was figured out because you just took all your leftovers and mixed it all together.
Yeah. All right, so the last thing we have to throw in the skillet is our spinach, and we're gonna actually use a whole container of spinach. I know it looks like a lot, but spinach shrinks really well. So this is actually going to shrink up to tiny amounts. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that in. I like to chop mine up before I put it in the skillet. You can do either. I just like smaller pieces of my vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and chop mine up just a little bit before I throw it in. And I mean, what an easy way to sneak in greens.
Yes. I actually like spinach.
I do too.
I like it when it's in recipes. I have a couple recipes where it calls for spinach and it tastes good to me.
Yeah, with the seasons change, we'll have to start adding in some. We've done a lot of summer recipes since probably April or May. I'm excited to start transitioning to fall.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I'm a huge fan of stews and warm, like stews and stoops, a la Rachel Ray. And soups, the nice warm, toasty. And stews are one of those things where it's like the same thing. You took everything you had left over and put it all together and it makes a delicious meal.
All right, we have all our spinach in. We're gonna go ahead and toss it up until the spinach wilts down.
So, we talk a lot about colors and how if your plate is very colorful, it's super healthy. And this has to be one of the most colorful recipes. It's got the green and the red, and then the eggs are a really healthy source of protein. And then the sweet potatoes orange, like it covers the gamut of colors. Delicious. I feel like I should have put more spinach in mine. We're gonna have to compare.
I loaded mine up with spinach. And eggs are a great source of omega-3. So if you do have kids, or even if you have a high-stress job, really anyone. I know most people like to skip breakfast, but actually breakfast is one of the most important meals. Getting that healthy fat into you, and it actually improves your cognitive function throughout the day. So this is a great brain-boosting breakfast or lunch.
Or dinner, for that matter.
True. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we turned our skillet off. We're gonna set that back there until we're ready to put it in our pie dish. And before we take our sweet potato out of the oven, we're gonna go ahead and do the egg portion of our quiche. So I want you to go ahead and take a bowl, and we can push this over to the side. And we're gonna take 6 eggs. And we'll go ahead and crack them. Do you want to crack an egg?
Sure.
Or
Scooch this way. You're out of the picture.
crack them in your bowl. And then one of the ways you can tell a very healthy egg is actually, I don't know if you've ever done this, but the drop test. We won't do it live, but you can test it at home. So if you can drop, eggs are one of the great things to buy a organic free range egg. And you can tell 2 ways. One of the ways is through the yolk. So you should look for a nice golden yolk and not too yellow. And then the other way is you can take your egg and drop it from about a foot. And a healthy egg has a harder shell, so it wouldn't crack.
Oh,
yeah.
That is good to know. I never know how long eggs last, because usually we like, let me light that up. Sorry. Right on the microphone. Because, we kind of go through phases in my house where we eat a lot of eggs, and then we go through phases where we eat no eggs. And then I'm always like, is the egg good or not?
I know.
And I'll have to do the drop test.
So we're just going to go ahead and blend our eggs up, and then you want to get some air in there so it's a nice and fluffy quiche. Once your eggs are blended in, we're going to take our almond milk.
Oh, did you want that? It's up to you.
We'll just wing it.
You'll just wing it.
Put about a third cup of almond milk. And another reason quiches are great is you can switch out almond milk for any milk that you like. So you could do a regular milk, you could do an oat milk, you could do a soy milk. So whatever's in your house, again.
So I wonder why they chose almond milk for this. I don't know, because I prefer regular milk. You can do skim milk.
I prefer regular milk as well. So maybe like a plant-based version of the recipe.
That makes sense.
Minus the eggs, I guess.
Yeah, okay, sort of.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and put salt in. And your recipe says about a teaspoon. I like to start on the lighter end just because everyone's salt preferences are different. And once you go too much salt, you can't really go back. So it's better to start on the cautious side. And then we'll put a little pepper in.
See, I like salt. I feel like as you get older, like you need more salt on your food, which is totally unhealthy. Don't take my advice on that one. Don't add a lot of extra salt. A lot of our foods are already very salted, but I feel like I like salt a lot.
But also you're a runner.
Yes.
So your body might be craving the electrolytes. Because I remember when I was pregnant, that was one of the things I craved was higher salt foods.
Yeah.
And they say, and you know this, the foods that you crave might be a nutrient that you're deficient in.
Exactly.
And so salt might have been, you might need more electrolytes.
Yeah. Well, when I was pregnant, I stopped at Taco Bell drive-thru every day. So I guess my body just needed fast food. That's not healthy either. So, but it sure was good.
I know. Mine was fried food. So we're going to go ahead and take our sweet potatoes out of the oven now. So I'll go ahead and grab. It's okay. I can use this towel.
Oh, you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that is true that I am a runner and I run a lot and I run long distance, and I can say that when I come home from running, I do crave salts. And sometimes when you sweat, you can even see the salt dry on your skin when it's really hot. Will that work?
That will work.
She wants to scratch this.
So we have our sweet potatoes out of the oven, and then we're just going to go ahead and build our quiche layer by layer. And the layering is important because if you put the eggs in first, it's going to throw things off, and then your spinach will go all over the place. So we're going to start with our vegetables.
Is it hot?
Yeah, here, get a towel. So first you're going to take your vegetables and just spread them evenly across the bottom of your pan.
Otherwise, we only get half of you, Rachel. Rachel likes to drift out of the video. So then you just hear her voice.
You do have a higher respect for all these Food Network chefs that are able to teach you how to cook live while actually trying to remember the recipe at the same time.
Right, and talk.
Yeah.
And be entertaining. My job's easy. I don't have to remember how to cook anything.
Then we're going to take our eggs, and you're going to evenly pour the eggs across the bottom, or across the top of the vegetables. And it should just spread out, but you can always give it a little shake to even it out. And then the last thing, we're going to take our goat cheese crumbles. I love goat cheese.
Me too.
And you're just going to sprinkle it across the top, just a little bit. You could also use a feta cheese. You could use a shredded cheese. Whatever your favorite cheese is. You could even do no cheese.
Oh, I love cheese. I wouldn't skip
There's
the cheese.
no fun in that.
I know.
All right, so we finished our quiche over here, and then we'll go ahead and put this in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll just take it out, and it's great for a week. So what I like to do, like I said at the beginning, is go ahead and portion it out from the beginning. So you could do about 6 slices for this quiche, and 1 slice would be about 100 to 200 calories, and then you have it portioned for your breakfast when you're running out the door. I will say to reheat a quiche, it does taste better if you reheat it in a skillet or in the oven as opposed to the microwave. It just gets a little soggier, but that's pretty much reheating any food in the microwave.
And if you think about it, 100 to 200 calories is not a lot of calories, but still a lot. You still get the protein, the cheese, and the eggs, so it'll fill you up for the morning. You won't. It's not like where you just eat like a piece of bread and then you're hungry in an hour, or a piece of fruit you're hungry in an hour, and it's still low in calorie.
Because it's half vegetables if you really look at it.
Yeah.
Which is how most of our meals should be: half vegetables and then your protein and carbs. And
it's good carbs.
It is good carbs.
The sweet potato are good carbs.
Good
Very
carbs.
good. Yes. All right. Should I grab the made one?
You should grab the made one. Throw this one. Oh, it's so pretty.
It looks so yummy. There you go. Check it out. Our pretty sweet potato quiche. And then let's taste it. So I gotta get here, I guess we can cut it like this.
You could use that one.
I'm just going to portion it out so that way I can have some later. Just cut it up like a pie.
And we were talking at the beginning, now that I'm looking at Dr. Becky's, about peeling the sweet potato versus not peeling the sweet potato. And we know that the skin of the sweet potato has a lot of important nutrients in it. So she went ahead and left the skin on. I peeled the skin off. I have a lot of picky eaters at home, and so I just automatically take the skins off everything. But if you're looking for higher nutrient content, leaving the skin on is a great idea.
Whoop. Almost got it. There's one. Looks like a nice little yummy, healthy piece of pie.
Perfect. Let's show them. So you can see the layers.
Oh, forks. We got some forks over there. This is the best part of the show.
This is the best part.
That's why if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll get the recipe in advance and you can actually taste it. Mmm.
That was good.
That was delicious. I was worried it was going to be too much onion, but I don't think it is.
No. You really taste the sweet potato.
I love the idea of the sweet potato crust. Delicious. So if you like what you saw today, be sure to sign up for our newsletter. Again, I'm Dr. Becky Lynn. I run Evora Women's Health. We're a comprehensive women's health office, and part of what we do is nutrition. I think that's really important to overall happiness, overall health, prevention of diabetes, cancer, and I feel like a lot of times in a quick visit in a traditional setting, you don't really have time to talk about all these prevention things. So in my office, we talk about nutrition, and of course, I'm a big exerciser. I talk about the importance of exercise. So if you feel like your doctor doesn't have time to listen to you or doesn't have time to tell you about all those things, please check us out. We're at St. Luke's in Chesterfield, Missouri. And our website is Evora, E-V-O-R-A, women.com, evorawomen.com. And Rachel?
And then if you love the cooking that we did today, but you're asking yourself, I just don't have time to cook, we are a perfect fit, and we have chefs that can come into your home and prepare this exact meal for you. And so our website is aperfectfitstl.com, and you can go ahead and submit a form on there if you are interested.
Fantastic. And if you missed any part of this, it will be on Evora Women's Health YouTube channel. So you can watch the rest of it there. Well, I guess it'll be on Facebook too, but we saved them all there.
Everywhere.
Yes. All right. Have a good day.
Bye.